coming in 4 days, is that Greatest Hits collection. What, and I was looking through the promotional announcement about it, that a lot of, got more in the way of fan favorites from more recent years. Do you know what is the biggest fan favorite of all of the songs that is included on Greatest Hits Volume 2?
Well, I know that they Wasted is kind of, for some reason, a huge fan favorite. But I've heard, a lot of these I've heard from fans saying, that they love this song, and so that's really was the basis of putting this album together, was kind of what the fans have come back to me with about the past 25 years of albums, which I think is the best music I've done. So we thought it was worthy of putting an album out with some of the best cuts.
Listening through Lose Myself a few times, watched the video, et cetera, et cetera. How did the composition of that song and all of the arrangement of that come together?
A guy that I've written with before in Sweden, Nicholas London, actually sent kind of an idea for the song, and I wrote lyrics and changed some things about it. But it kind of was a. I don't really write with other people much because it's such a personal thing for me, songwriting. But occasionally, you'll find someone where it just works. My idea of a great songwriting partnership is, when two people create a third mind, and you write something that you might not have written on your own, and that's what I felt this song was.
I've noted, okay, you just said the answer before about how you felt the last 2 decades plus of music, going back to the late 90s, about the quality of that. What you said there. If you were to apply your approach to music today to, let's go back to maybe the first half, how do you think your music, and the first half really going back to the early 70s, honestly, but how do you think you would have, how would that music have come out had you approached recording and writing in the aughts and the teens to the 70s and 80s, let's say?
The writing of it, you mean?
Yeah.
Or the recording?
Well, both really. How would your writing have been different? How would your recording have been to the point where you would feel like your latter output is you really liked? How would that have changed if you would approach that to the earlier stuff?
Oh, I don't think it would have changed. I mean, I was writing the best I could in the 80s, but your writing changes as you get older. First Working Class Dog was really all about, basically getting laid, It was the young guy writing music, and as you get older, other things become manifest. And but I've always tried to write the best I can. I probably would have, if it had been written now, I'd certainly have been influenced by things that I heard and liked. So that's really always been a pattern with me and with most writers, is stuff that they've heard that they loved, or ideas you get from other people. It's really a kind of a vampire experience being a songwriter.
Also in the deluxe edition of this Greatest Hits package, of course, is the book, Burning Film, Rick Springfield Through the Lens. Do you have a favorite photo or photos in the book, one that you really hope people pay attention to if they buy the deluxe edition?
I just hope they have a coffee table to put the coffee book on. I don't know what a coffee table is, other than, those round tables inside Starbucks, but photos of myself, I'm kind of, I don't love them most of the time. I don't know anybody who goes, ooh, I got to see a photo of myself. So I'm the wrong guy to ask. I think Jay Gilbert, who took all the photos and has been kind of my photographer for the last 25 years, has got a great eye. And of all the photographers that have taken shots of me, he's really consistently the best. And when you do a photo session, you take 150 shots. shots, and you'll use 3. So there was a ton of photos that had never been seen, and he picked the best of them for this book. It's a really good looking book. I mean, it's I wouldn't buy it because it's me, but if it was someone else that I was a fan of, I think it was pretty cool.
Of course, nowadays everything comes out on vinyl as well. I mean, it used to, and for a while it didn't, and now it does again. And the thought popped in my head, it's just a random question, but I thought, in your opinion, and maybe you don't have a take on this, but which of your albums do you think sounds the best on vinyl per se, as opposed to CD or streaming?
Honestly, unless you're a complete audiophile, I don't really hear much of a difference. Partly because I've lost a lot of hearing playing in front of loud amps for the number of years I've been a musician. So it cuts the quality of the sound down a bit. But I IAB'd them, like one of the albums we did. I think the past albums we did, I went in the studio and we recorded on tape, and then we recorded digitally, with Pro Tools. And tape did sound better, but by the time it's mixed and squished down into a streaming quality, and listened to on earbuds, which pretty much is how people hear music now, or through a singular Bluetooth speaker, you're not going to hear any difference.
Right.
Really.
Yeah.
Between tape and the digital thing.
Last question before I let you go. Of course, tour coming, tickets, more tour dates coming soon. An announcement coming at rickspringfield.com. Can you give any hint of anything different in the tour? I've seen a couple of your shows up here in Western Wisconsin before. Anything different? Can you give any hints of what's going to be on stage this year?
Yeah, well, we'll be touring with a few friends that I can't yet mention who, because it's going to be announced in a couple of days, I guess. But it's the great artists, and it's going to be a great tour. I like, it's great. It's really, I like to give an audience. When I used to go see shows, I did be 4 or 5 acts on the bill, and it was amazing. So it's kind of getting back to that to a degree. The tours where there's, they bring along a couple of friends, and we're doing that this summer. It's going to be a great show. My band is killer. They're really the best band I've ever played with, and and we have a great relationship, and that shows on stage. And we'll bring a party, and people are always surprised how tough the show is. It's a very muscular show, and I love to play live. I love to play guitar, and so it's going to be a great show. I'm very excited about it.
New music, new greatest hits, new book, and new tour. A whole lot coming up. Rick, good to talk to you again. All the best going forward, and we're looking forward to a great 2025.